One of the things that I've been wondering about is, does it matter if you remove 5 fans from your PC? Does it actually influence your PC's temperature? Well, that's what we're going to look into today. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an idle temperature test and an in-game stress test for the graphics card and the CPU. So the components that we're going to use for the CPU is an i5-4590 clocked at 3.3 GHz, and for the GPU it's going to be an R7-265. Okay, so for the first test we're going to use 7 fans. The outtakes that are 2 at the top and the rear fan at the back. And then also for the intakes we'll have 2 at the side and 1 at the bottom. Okay, so I've done my first test. For the GPU I've used Uni-Engine Heaven for the stress test on the GPU, and for the CPU I used CPU-Z. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention is that we've got a Cooler Master Hyper TX3 Evo on the CPU for the cooler. And all the fans that we are using is Cooler Master. They have great LEDs, by the way. So we've done our first test. The CPU idled at 30 degrees and the GPU idled at 32 degrees. Then we continue to the stress test for the CPU, which got the CPU to settle at the temperature for 37 degrees and the GPU to settle at the temperature of 67 degrees. Okay, so now that we know the temperatures of the 7 fans in the PC, let's move on to only 2 fans in the PC. So I've removed all the fans except the one outtake at the top and obviously the rear fan. The rest are all disabled. So now that we have only 2 fans enabled, we can see that the CPU and the GPU also again idles at 30 and 32 degrees. Then we went on to the stress test for the GPU as well as the CPU. We saw surprisingly that the GPU and CPU temperatures only went up with 1 degree, where the CPU is 38 degrees Celsius and the GPU 68 degrees Celsius. So coming to the conclusion, is it worth it to buy extra fans for your PC case? Probably not, because that 1 degree Celsius isn't gonna make a difference. So if your PC case has extra 5 fan ports that you don't want empty, then you can maybe go ahead and buy some cheap Cooler Master or Raid Max fans and then install it to the fans. So that wraps it up for this video. If you have any suggestions, then please leave it down below in the comments and we'll see if we can maybe experiment with it. And if you didn't like the video, well, you know where the dislike button is. But if you liked it, please hit that like button. Any support is so much welcome. And I'll see you next time. Oops.